So let's start with some important dates. Starting on April 1st, our end of semester plans form will be available in the housing portal. That's that same portal where they go to select their room, request a lockout, and other things related to housing. It's that same website. We'll be asking students to submit this form called end of semester plans, which basically asks them what their plans are for the end of the semester. That could include if they plan to stay on campus for summer, what date and time they plan to leave, if they need to submit an extended stay, questions like that. That extended stay form is embedded in the end of semester plans form, so if your student selects a date after the residence hall move out date, it will automatically ask them to submit an extended stay request. That traditional move out date is May 13th at noon for students not participating in commencement, and May 22nd at noon for folks who are participating in commencement. So the vast majority of students should be out 24 hours after their final exam, their last final exam, or by May 13th, whichever comes first. If there are students participating in a university-sponsored activity like an athletics program or an academic program that causes them to go after the 13th, or there's some other circumstance that requires them to be on campus after the 13th, they'll need to submit that extended stay request form by May 1st by filling out that end of semester plans form in the housing portal. It's critical to get that information by May 1st so that we can communicate with them about their extended stay. And then graduating seniors who are registered for commencement should also complete that form and submit their requests. They just won't be charged to stay for commencement. So as far as how students check out, students should first start talking to their roommate now about how they're going to plan their move out, who's moving out first, who does what as far as the move out checklist. The move out checklist is available on our website now, and that website is housing.tulane.edu, and it outlines all the things that students need to do to prepare their room for when they leave. We hope that students are taking all of their personal belongings and cleaning their room and setting their AC down anyway, but we have a nice handy list of all of those things so they can know exactly what we expect of them before they leave for campus. And again, they should plan their departure in advance so they're not scrambling after finals or during finals to figure out what they're doing. For most students, they'll use an express checkout envelope to check out. That means they pick up an envelope from the housing office or their front desk, they fill out the information on the envelope, and then they enclose their key and bring it back to the housing office when they leave. For students who live in Monroe, Patterson, Wall, or Weatherhead, they don't have a key to access their room, so they don't need to use an express checkout envelope. What they do have to do is complete a self-checkout online, which they should be used to doing. That again is in the housing portal. They must complete that self-checkout online in the housing portal to let us know that they've left. If they don't do that, or if they're in a building that requires an express checkout, and they don't do that, they'll be charged $100 for not following checkout instructions. That's mainly because when students don't follow checkout instructions, we have to then go physically make sure that students have left for the summer. So again, do students need to officially check out? Yes, they do. If they don't, we will charge them. We don't want to charge them. We would like them to either fill out the self-checkout form in the portal or return their key in the express checkout envelope to the housing office. All right, now is about the time for students to start planning for summer storage. And our summer storage is through University and Student Services. They're our approved storage vendor to provide summer storage for students. They will be on campus for students to pick up box kits, to sign up for storage, to ask questions about the storage process, and then we work directly with that vendor to pick up items from the student's room and then deliver them back to their room in the fall. They also deliver off campus. We use that same vendor for our ship to room program for fall as well, so we use them quite a bit. They're reliable, and they store everything in a climate controlled location. Again, the vendor is University and Student Services. So like I said, once a student signs up for storage, the items are brought to a climate controlled facility. That happens after the student checks out, so they don't need to worry about moving things from their room to a pickup location. They leave everything labeled in their room. USS comes in escorted by housing staff picks up those items and then stores them. And then when the student is slated to arrive for the fall, before that student gets here, USS will then deliver those items escorted by Housing and Residence Life staff before the student arrives, kind of like how the Ship to Room program worked. It's really handy for students because they don't have to do any of the moving. The USS does all the moving. They just need to make sure everything is packed and labeled appropriately. If a student is moving off campus for next year, they can still use that same service and the same process applies, although they're not going to deliver to their house before they move in. They'll deliver via an appointment, but USS will pick up from their residence hall now and then deliver to their off-campus address in the next semester. They'll ask students what their updated address will be, but they could also reach out to USS and provide their updated delivery address if they know it. If you're wondering where your student would pick up those boxes or sign up for storage, USS will have a tent on McAllister that's right outside the LBC between April 25th and May 13th, right up to closing. They sell an initial box kit that contains 5 boxes and packing tape. There are more boxes available from that tent as well. And not everything necessarily has to be in a box. They'll let you know how to pack everything if you have questions, or they'll let your student know. But labeling everything for pickup is incredibly important so they can keep track of whose items belong to who. There are more FAQs available on the USS website, and again, that's uandss.com/Tulane. There's also a link on the housing website as well. We do caution students from using unapproved storage vendors. The reason USS is our approved vendor is they have a proven track record of handling student belongings with care. They're well insured in case something does happen, and they have a good history of resolving issues when issues have come up in the past. Other unapproved vendors that are in the city don't have that same level of insurance and that same level of attention to detail that USS has, and that's why they're not an approved vendor. Vendors that aren't approved are also not allowed to kind of park wherever they want on campus, and they're not allowed in the residence halls. So if your student does go with kind of a local vendor that's not an approved vendor, they'll need to escort that person as their guest. They're not going to be let into the residence halls unescorted. Regardless of who you choose, we want families to research any company that they use for something as important as summer storage. There's quite a bit more detailed information about spring move-out on the Housing and Residence Life website. You can find that at housing.tulane.edu, and then under the Logistics tab, there's a page called Spring Move-Out. Students have been sent an email already guiding them to that information, and they'll be sent more emails as we get closer to move-out to remind them to read the information on this website, but that is the source of truth, really, for our spring move-out operation. If you do have questions after reading that, please contact us at housing@tulane.edu. That's our main email address, and we'll answer your question.